37% of Americans never even leave their hometown, and 50% never leave their home state. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Right now, I'm on an anniversary trip with my wife in Volcanoes National Park, which is on the border of Congo and Rwanda. And we're going to go explore and find some endangered mountain gorillas for a lot less cost than it would be for a weekend in Vegas. Since moving to Rwanda, my life has completely changed. I feel like I've made some genuine friendships over here. I've gone way outside of my comfort zone. I've interacted with the locals and the villagers, and it's been incredible. And I hope by watching this, I could show you that sometimes the crazy ideas you have, sometimes the crazy things you want to do might not be as crazy as you think, and sometimes it could be way cheaper than you think too. For us, it's probably going to cost about $800 to go see the mountain gorillas. And, you know, if I look at that compared to like a normal weekend when I was living in LA, it's night and day, right? $800 potentially sounds like a lot, but for me, it's an experience of a lifetime to go see friggin' mountain gorillas in the middle of Rwanda and Uganda. And, you know, if I think back at my life in LA, I'd go out for dinner, have drinks with friends. The bill racks up quick. You know, you easily spend $100, $200, and you don't even know where. And oftentimes you kind of do the same thing. And I think it's kind of a dangerous trap to fall into. You know, you get into the comforts of being home. You see a lot of the same people, you get to the same places. And the truth is, like, as we know, the Western world gets expensive. And I think there's a lot of novelty in what you can do in the Western world. But right when you leave your hometown, you could have a lot more novel experiences, a lot of experiences that maybe you want that sound crazy. And the truth, like I said, is, number one, it's way cheaper than you imagined, right? Way cheaper. If I went to Vegas, it'd be way more than $800, and now I get to go see mountain gorillas. And the other part is like just getting out of your comfort zone and realizing that, you know, 99% of the people in the world are good, right? We're wandering around random villages right now, and everyone's incredibly friendly. They're curious. They want to talk to us. And I think just the real danger is staying put. The real danger is not exploring the world. I think the real danger is not understanding how other humans live, right? Getting that perspective, obviously. And like I said, I think it's way cheaper, it's way more doable now than it ever has in the past to actually explore, to actually go out of your hometown. And still that crazy stat where 50% of Americans don't even have a passport. It blows my mind because in this day and age, it's so easy to get out there. Hello.
11. How old are you?
Hello. Hello. I think this way now. So my wife and I rented a car when we headed up to Volcanoes National Park, and in between got completely lost on the way. We went through the wrong back road. Google Maps doesn't really work that well in Rwanda for some reason. We ended up talking to some locals and figuring out as a whole thing. And you know what's crazy is that's probably going to be what we remember about the trip the most, which is kind of crazy. Is oftentimes the things which are not smooth, as we all know, are the things we remember, and oftentimes can be kind of a funny story later on. And I remember reading about this before, of like, why is it that when we're kids, our summers seemed endless, right? Like it seemed like summers went forever. And the older we get, the more we get in our comfort zone and routines. For some reason, time just freaking speeds up so fast. And the reason is because many times new experiences, novel experiences, that gets stored and processed through our hippocampus, which processes long-term memory, which processes a lot of new things and makes it seem like you're living more, you're doing more in a certain time because things are novel. That's kind of how it works in the brain chemistry. Now, check it out. If you're in your comfort zone, if you're in your hometown, you're going to do the same routine every single day. What's going to happen? Time goes by in the blink of an eye, right? Things just move faster because it doesn't get processed and stored through your hippocampus. Puts a lot of things into perspective when it comes to travel. When you get out of your hometown, you go on a crazy road trip, you go out of country, you start remembering things more. It feels like these days are even longer. That sounds special. That sounds like how you could, extend your life and like live these endless summers of childhood all over again. And, with some of these more novel experiences that luckily my wife and I are fortunate to have, like going to trekking and seeing gorillas at a Volcanoes National Park for our anniversary, that's our goal, right? We want to do novel things. We want to remember these things. We don't want to do just a simple routine. These are things we're going to remember much more. One of the most common questions I get whenever I travel places from people back at home is, dude, how do you meet people? How do you actually make friends? And what's so fascinating is, at least here in my time in Rwanda, my social life has absolutely exploded. I've met different people. We've gone to trips. We've been to safaris. We went to do marathons again. And these are people I kind of just met when I moved over here. And the truth is, when you travel, it's so much easier to actually meet people. Here's why. All of us, especially us in the expat community, we're strangers in a strange place together. And oftentimes that makes you band together, right? You see someone else, and it's almost like that weird carpe diem mentality of, hey, we're here for a short period of time, whatever it is, we're all strangers in this place, let's go do some cool shit together, right? And because of that, everyone's just down. And the funny part is, I live in Los Angeles most of the year, right? Whenever I'm not traveling. And there's endless amounts of activities. I have a bunch of friends or people I know there. It's so incredibly hard to get people together, right? Like, people, you have to plan 2 months in advance. There's all these activities going on. I don't really go to any of it. Versus here, I feel like I'm doing something every single weekend with new people I meet. And I've noticed that a lot in the travel community, and just getting out there is, luckily you get surrounded by people who are not similar to you, but also have the same mentality of, I want to meet people. I want to go do things because this is a novel experience. And it's so special when you are traveling to meet people like that. And I remember when I was backpacking a lot, I went to South America, I went to Asia, I went to Europe, and I was spent years just backpacking on hostels. And if you can't make a friend in a hostel, you have to be a really bad person, because it's so freaking easy to make friends in hostels. And the reason is the same thing. Everyone's a strange person in a strange place together. So personally for here, I think what's been amazing for my wife and I is you can get like plugged in immediately, right? You meet people, everyone's down to do stuff. You can go on incredible trips around the country and just make friends so easily. It's not that hard. In fact, it's way easier than your hometown. All right, left, straight, right.
Great.
We're wandering. Did you? Just walking through people's yards again. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay. Maraho. Maraho. How are you? Good. Good morning. Nice to meet you. Can I see? Yeah? Can I see? Yeah. This is usually where... Beautiful. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying everyone needs to leave their hometown or go live with nomads or move to Africa, but that statistic, 37% of people never leave their hometown, isn't just a stat, it's a warning. The world is way too big, way too full of possibilities. Just stay in one small corner of it. So whether it's moving to a new city, a new town, just experiencing a different way of life, growth happens when you actually leave your comfort zone and just go somewhere exotic, go somewhere different, and just have that different type of experience. The real question isn't whether you should leave your hometown or not. The real question is, what are you losing by staying?